Hey guys, welcome back to the Time Warp channel, of course, for myself, the Bombardier, and I'm kind of happy today as we've got a Seiko back on the channel, and it's certainly been a while. And whilst it's very easy to mock their QC and pricing strategy, I do still really like many of their watches. This one has been lent into the channel and is the baby TUNA, and that is reference SNE533P1 here in the UK. And this model then comes from the Street series. Sorry, there we go, nice and central, would be useful. We'll try and get it central. So it comes from the Street series, as I say, and kind of has this retro TUNA shape, which obviously then comes from the 1975 divers models, and it's been sort of chiseled and heat shrunk into a more compact yet still very robust watch. Just while I'm giving you the 360 here, kind of my initial feeling and thoughts with this is that it is a really fun watch, which has been, I think, designed to be oriented more towards that sort of sports urban identity than a true diver. And yes, fans of Seikos and the watch channel will realise that the alignment is not too bad either. All right, let's kick off with some specs. So what we're looking at then is a 46mm case, but actually the dial itself shrinks or narrows down into 29mm. So you can really see that you've got a lot of shroud space here making up those 46mm. Again, don't be too alarmed by that width, because then the lug to lug here is the same width. It's actually 46mm. So it makes it much less of an issue size-wise when it's sitting on wrist, because it is literally that sort of diameter sitting in width also. It's then about 12.7mm in depth. It comes on 22mm lugs. You've got a hardlex, standard Seiko hardlex up on top. It does come on these super soft silicone straps that in the short time that I've been with it, highly evident that it's not a dust magnet, which is great, because some of those silicone straps really do get rather grubby. This one, not the case at all. Probably one of the reasons for that is because it does have this sort of granular finishing, I think, which helps to just shift things away from it. Buzzing away inside is the solar Seiko V157 movement, which from a full charge should give you around, I'm going the wrong way, give you around 10 months worth of battery life. The shroud or the case is stainless steel underneath, and then it has this hardened plastic coating applied to the surface. And again, it's smooth-ish. It's not perhaps as granulated perhaps as the strap, but it does have a very nice tactile sense to it. Onto the dial, sorry, I was just going to say that these shrouds are screwed on, and noticed already there's quite a lot of modding going on with these, people shifting them out, taking them off completely. AliExpress will already do a lot of pure silver ones, so it does give you quite a lot of variety with which to play with on these particular watches. Onto the dial, you can see because of the timing, they're 2:10, but underneath there we've got a very positive large arrow hand, then with that sword style minute hand. The second hand there, you can see you've got this little lollipop counterbalance, which then does have, which is then also lumed. The surface of the dial, I'll pop up a close-up shot here because I don't suppose we'll be able to see it just here. It is a grainy surface on the dial, which then sort of covers up those solar cells. There is a framed date window down there at the 4 o'clock. It's great for me. I think that they've colour matched it, because that then, sorry, too much reflection then, that colour match then really does allow the markers for the hour hands, etc., to really stand alone as function as they need to. The date window is actually also then at the 4 o'clock marker position. So again, so it doesn't detract from that. It's not sort of, you know, part covering or something else that we often see on others. So I kind of like that also. Onto the bezel. It's got this sort of nice coin edge here. It's 120 click. There is a little bit of play in it. But again, I don't imagine that this is going to be used, you know, for precision timing. So I don't imagine that's too much of an issue. But then listen to the action. If that's not a fidget thingy, oh my God, I don't know what it is. It sounds superb. It really, really does. Alignment, okay, it's not precision alignment. As you can see at the top there, that LUME pip is just fractionally off. But again, I think everything's quite dark visually on the watch. And as I say, I'm going to forgive it because it's not a precision tool. I think this is a sports watch, and as I say, not a precision tool. So yeah, we'll be a little bit generous there. The other thing that I like about it is the matte blue that you've got on 3/4 of the dial. I'll throw up a close-up shot there so you can see it more. Really, really, very, very pretty. You've got sort of like these, you know, engraved brushed circles into it. Very, very pretty indeed. The downside to that though is that the 15-second section here is blacked out, and it really does get a little bit lost. You kind of almost think that they should have made the whole thing blue rather than, you know, blacking out that section, because unless the light catches it, it kind of disappears. Different on the other colorways. As I say, in the sunshine photos here, you can really see how beautiful that blue is, and you can see a little bit more how that black section works. Up at the top then you do have that recessed nipple pip, which I think is a really good design decision. And I think, again, that's where the street urban aspect of this watch kicks in. Because I think it's fair to say that this bezel is not really here as a dive tool bezel per se, but it would work perfectly well as a rugged daily wearer. Let me just bung it on wrist because I wanted to focus on the fit, because I think the size aspect of the watch is certainly something that will influence future purchases. Okay, wrap him up there. So you can really see that the dimensions, diameter, etc., that whole sphere of the watch really does meld very, very well. And I think, you know, weight-wise, comfort-wise, it's brilliant. it's really, 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 really nice. I saw these when they first came out, and I was like, that looks kind of cool. But I was umming and ahhing, and I think I went elsewhere with my watch purchases. But yeah, it's a very, very spicy little watch. I think the straps, the lug, etc., keep it flush to your wrist and make it very sort of, you know, wobble-less, if that's even a word. You also then got these quite nice, just dropped curved down lugs here, which I think again add to that comfort factor. Onto the case back, and it's a pretty standard, Seiko screw down with the famous tsunami in the centre. And then they've also then blacked out or sort of gunmetalled certain sections of the steel case frame here. The strap has a really good size keeper here. It's again blacked out. It's not unsigned, but you then do have your tsunami on your the tip of the strap there. And yes, of course, for all you Seiko fanboys out there, myself included, this is an absolute LUME monster. I love it. You only just need a fraction of drop in ambient lighting, and this thing lights up. Seiko, massive kudos to you for sticking with that. I love it. The pricing, I think, is another aspect about this watch which I really think is really of note. As I say, they're on sale. These blue ones are on sale in the UK at the moment, and they're around £240. And I think that's superb, because lately Seiko pricing has gone silly. They release these stunning watches, but then wait, it's a limited edition, and yes, it's minimum of £1,000. I think, you know, they're really pushing against what's made Seiko famous historically. Maybe that's just a natural process for Seiko, increasing their prices, and that's just something for me to get over. But case in point, as I say, these ones, on sale at the moment, brilliant price for a watch like this, and I think they're selling very well accordingly. People are, really snapping these things up. So surely that kind of backs up a little bit what I'm saying. But anyway, what do you guys think about Seiko's pricing and model releases? Interesting to hear your thoughts. I mean, we're certainly not sport for choice. We've got many new versions coming out regularly. Anyway, drop me a comment down below. Guys, I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are. In conclusion, I reckon this concept of the watch, as I mentioned before, is a slight crossover, between that fashion and tool watch. It's got some great looks. It's backed up by some very solid specs. And I know that's what pushed the owner to buy it. And he told me, yeah, the specs, the price, no-brainer. And I have to say, personally, that I'm really very impressed with the short time that I've had this to look over, and it has me sorely tempted to add one to the collection. There's this one that sits between the Arnie and then this particular baby tuna that I've got my eye on. So, yep, sorry, the wife is going to kill me. Anyway, guys, thanks as always for your time and for watching. And look forward to your comments down below. Until next time, of course, this is your host, the Bombardier, signing off. Cheers, guys.